Welcome to Living a Life by Design. It's the journey back to you and living 365 days of purpose with your host, Esther Graham. Did you know your accountability and possibility is by design? God designed a phenomenal life for you, gave you the gift of choice. Esther helps empower you to discover and pursue the purpose that is already in you. Are you ready to look at yourself and see your future? Then get back to what is really important in life and get in alignment with your true self. Stay tuned to Living a Life by Design. Journey back to you and start living 365 days of purpose with your host, Esther Graham. It all starts now.
Hello, 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 and welcome everyone to Living a Life by Design. I'm your host, Esther Graham, and I'm so super excited that you are here with us this beautiful, beautiful Friday. I'm also excited about our topic today, relationships, do's and don'ts. Listen, from my experience and everyone I've talked to and I've coached and counseled and did all of these things that relationship always seems to be a subject that's always on the top. How do I communicate more? How do I understand my daughter, my son, my spouse more, my coworker, my boss, right? My boyfriend, my girlfriend, any of those, because relationship is just so important in any environment. Listen, and so part of relationship is learning really how to navigate the do's and the don'ts. And today, our special guest will be discussing that. But before we begin to dive into the do's and don'ts, I want to tell you just a little bit about what is coming up in the Life by Design community that's on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook, jump on Facebook just and request to join the Life by Design community there. We've got some great things happening. We're right now on a 40-day prayer journey to where we're building up, let's say, the inner man. We're building up our inner self. We're learning to connect with each other. We're praying for each other. We're starting the year off, like, I want to say, on the right foot or on the good foot, whatever you want to call it, right? But we're starting it off to where we could be powerful individuals because we are ensuring that we are in alignment, that our heart has that vertical alignment with God, that this is the year of alignment. This is the year of manifestation. We are going to soar in our personal lives, in our business, and everything else. And this is why our discussion today is on relationships. So we're going to go to a break. And when we get back, I'm going to introduce our guest. In the meantime, grab your pen, grab your journal, grab your water or whatever you want to drink, and join me as we talk about relationship do's and don'ts in the Life by Design community. See you in a minute.
Rethinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
Mystery School Ancient Wisdom for Everyday Life is your practical and inspiring gateway to spiritual awakening. Join me, Shakti Durga, and Dr. Pat every first and third Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time as we explore relationships, inner plane realities, channel light beings, learn from ancient wisdom, and share tools to navigate life with ease and grace. Are you ready to step into your highest potential? Subscribe to Mystery School. Your transformation starts here.
Festa della Donna with Esther Graham honors all women far beyond a single day of celebration. Regardless of your race, gender, sexual orientation, or religion, Esther helps you rise to your full potential to live fully in God's plan and to do what you were divinely created to do. Festa della Donna offers programs that help you fulfill your dreams and desires. For more information and to get your free copy of the Festa della Donna Retreat Self-Care Guide, visit fdbwomen.com.
Inside the Mind of Hiring with me, Dr. Mickey Feinberg, is a must-listen for hiring managers, HR pros, and job seekers. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio, the first and third Tuesday at 11 to discover the psychology of making smarter hiring decisions that shape successful teams and organizations. Dr. Mickey and expert guests will disclose the full hiring journey. For more info, visit deltaconsultants.com.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia will take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were and how to awaken that power today. Julia studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Learn to master the secrets of manifestation. Visit onetrueself.com.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to Living a Life by Design with me, your host, Dr. Esther Graham. And I'm so, again, super excited that you are here with me today. And our special guest is Charcee Starks. So I'm going to do something, y'all. Normally, I let the guests reintroduce themselves, but I'm going to introduce her and she could still reintroduce herself. And I hope you got your pen, that you got your journal, that you got your favorite beverage, and let's dive in. But Charcee is a deeply intentional, transformational leadership coach who doesn't just focus on external success, but on inner identity work. She's all about guiding people through identity transitions, collapsing worlds, patterns, and reclaiming sovereignty and integrating emotional safety. Her vibe is grounded, trauma-informed, and empowering. She balances the soulful depth with practical leadership tools. And again, welcome Charcee to the Life by Ed. This is not her first time here. She's been on here before. It's been a while, but she's been on here before. But Charcee is not just an awesome leadership coach, a very excellent relationship coach, but she's also a friend of mine. So Charcee, let's get started. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, that said it.
Isn't it?
I've also been in this industry for over 10 years, and I've had the opportunity and the honor to work with couples, people who are single, people transitioning in relationships or transitioning out of relationships. So I do really love this topic tonight, what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, relationship do's and don'ts. So I have a couple of really good questions for you. So I'm going to ask the questions, okay?
Okay.
So, in your experience, what's one common do and one common don't that couples overlook when trying to reconnect?
A common do and a common don't. Okay.
Yeah,
I would say the first common do that people overlook is naming what actually changed, right? Naming what's shifted, or what feels broken, or what, what's present.
Yes.
Most couples try to reconnect by going back to who they used to be. Let's get back to us. Let's go back to, how we were. And what happens is that creates further that creates a wider disconnect because there is no going back.
Yeah.
And so the reconnection really happens when we acknowledge who we are today, and then we try to move forward inside of these new identities.
Yeah. It's funny that you said, new identities, because the bottom line is, as we stay together, as we're in relationships, we grow and
Absolutely.
we evolve and we change. The person I was, let's say yesterday, is not the person I am today. You know what I mean? And so we grow and we evolve, and sometimes we don't recognize that. What would be a don't?
I don't. So it's funny that you said that because one of the agreements that I make anytime I step into a new relationship is that's
Yeah.
the agreement. I
Yeah.
only have one non-negotiable. My non-negotiable is that we wake up tomorrow knowing I'm not the same person I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And so inside of that, what happens is it creates a really safe space to grow,
Hmm.
right? So one of the big don'ts is I would say don't perform closeness, right? Create safety.
Ooh, what's the difference? Talk about, yeah.
So yeah, so the difference is things like forced date nights or,
Yeah.
scripted check-ins or, you know, really habitual behavior. How are you today? Oh, I'm doing good. Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Like when your relationship isn't really, it's no longer authentic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because we should be more affectionate, but you're bypassing what's really needed, you
Yeah.
know? And a lot of times what happens is that you don't feel emotionally safe, so you create an emotional shelter, and that actually keeps your partner out of being able to access you. And in those efforts, right, to protect yourself, there's like a hollow space where your partner used to be or where that love used to be or where you used to feel, really intimate or filled up or connected to your partner. And so I think that, connection really starts when both people feel seen in their current
Yeah,
identities,
for sure.
and there's no pressure to like recreate an old identity or, you know, you used to be the kind of woman who, or you used to be the kind of man who, instead of really like learning who they are right now and seeing like, how can we, do more of this thing? Like, you're really into this now. Like, I really want to understand that new thing about you. And
Yeah.
so like, let's explore that together sometime. You've been married 30.
Eight. Well, no, is it 38 yet? Almost. Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
you've been
yeah.
married almost
That's it.
38 years, right? And one thing that I say to couples who have been married that many years, right? That's a lifetime for some people
Mhm.
or more,
I was a
right?
baby when he married me. I was. Yes.
Yeah. So over that time, you're not the same woman you were the day
Mm,
you met him,
no.
let alone the day you married him, the day you had your first child, the day you switched your career from one thing to the next, right? Like all of these things happen and they change us. They shift
Hmm.
us. We become
Hmm.
someone new, right? You lost your parents over the time that you've been together with him. You went from being a daddy's girl to a woman whose father was no longer here to go to lean on, to check in with, right? Those are huge transitional internal shifts
Yeah.
that change you.
Yeah.
They change you. You become someone new. And
Yeah.
so inside of those things, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to really be honest with ourselves to go like, I'm no longer like, I mean, not to bring up a sore spot, but your dad was a big thing for you, knowing you and knowing,
Yeah.
his passing was a huge
It
shift for
was.
your life, right?
It was.
And so going from someone who has this father you can call and depend on and get advice from and, lean into and complain about your husband and say, what should I do about this or whatever, right? Or in exciting moments, be able to celebrate with him, about, Jonathan proposed or he did this or he did that,
Yeah.
right? And then to not have that, that's going to shift a human,
Yeah.
right? To have that amount of masculine support that isn't your husband, to then your husband being the masculine support you fully rely on, right? It's going to change you. It's going to change him. It's going to change the pressure he has. It's going to change the way you depend on him. It's going to change the way you expect him to show up for you. You know,
100%.
it's going
Yeah.
to do a lot of shifting that isn't necessarily conscious, right? So it's a matter of really, going back in and going like, "Hey, I'm different now. Something's changed, and I need to know who I am so I can show up in this relationship like fully present and whole, even though I'm different."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's so important because, when you think about what you just said, things that shift and change. And of course, we get into ritualistic stuff, like you said, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. And so then we feel not seen. And one of the things I realized that there are some things just recently, like I said, I'm not the same person I was yesterday, the person I was last night, the person I was this morning. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just not that same person. Just recently, I just lost a grand love. That's the first thing I keep telling everyone, that I've never experienced that before.
Right.
And so to
Right.
be able to navigate that, and honestly, not have my parents to call and say, so. What about this? What about that? And then, of course, my husband, now he's going through it in his way, and he's not the same. And so, having those expectations, and so really looking at that and really saying, you know what? I now have changed so much. He has changed, and being able to come together and understand and meeting each other with those changes.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
that can be one of the most difficult things, and it can either make or even break a relationship if each other aren't willing to be open and say, you know what, I want to get to know you. I still choose you.
Absolutely.
And I want to
Absolutely.
get to know you just the way you are, or, at this new point in your life.
Who you are today. Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, if the transition or the, you know, personal development or the internal work or the growth or whatever isn't something that is negative or toxic or
Yeah.
harmful, then
Yeah.
there really is an opportunity to like reintroduce yourselves,
Yes. Yes.
try start dating again, start doing new things again.
Mhm.
Like the movies you may have watched when you were in your 20s may not be the movies you want to watch
Mm.
today, and so it's like, let's go to a movie, let's decide on a movie, let's do something we haven't done in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
but not forced, right?
Yeah.
Not
Not
forced,
forced.
but
Yeah.
like really deep curiosity of like,
Yeah.
I want to know you again,
Yeah.
and I want you to know me again. And how can we get like outrageously curious with each other?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's just like, we have our date night and we're committed to our date night, but our date night has a purpose. It's not a forced date night in terms of, if we don't feel like doing date night, or if I don't feel like it or he doesn't, then we don't. You understand
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
that's one of our, that's like one of our non-negotiables. We'll do date night, but it has to be, what's the purpose of the date night? Where are we going? And it has to be enjoyable. Like we don't go on date nights and sit and not talk to each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, right. You know
Like
how many couples you go out and I mean, I go out a lot, and when I'm out, I'm always observing people just because that's the way my brain
me,
works. And
yeah, me
you
too. I
know,
love to observe couples and how they're
yes.
communicating. Yes.
And there's so many times where I'm like watching these couples and they're sitting with each other at a table, either not speaking to each other on their phones.
Yep. Yep.
It'll be a
Yes.
quick conversation and they're back to doing whatever they were doing. And I always, my, prayer for myself is that I'm never end up in a relationship where I'm not enjoying my partner's company.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's one of the big things for me. Like I really just want to enjoy their company,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So,
We were in the UK. So one of the things I love to do is when I go out, because I go out a lot, and I like to watch couples. And especially if it's just the two of them, well, yeah, couples. And I just
mhm,
like to watch, you know, to see if they're communicating. And I remember one time, and I always say to Jonathan, or if I'm at a group of table with people, I say, look at them, they're just not talking to each other. And so then I know this sounds like really bad, but then I'll begin to time it. Like how long are they going to sit there and not speak to each other? And I remember when we were in the UK, we're in a restaurant, and I just decided to observe this couple, and they had their two kids, and their kids were busy eating and on there, and he sat there at the table with his face straight, and she sat, and the entire time, and they were there for at least an hour, not
no conversation.
two were no conversations. And then I started thinking, what's going on?
Hmm.
you know, in their marriage or in their family, in their home. So interesting to observe, to just to find out, because this happens a lot in relationships, right? To where I no longer enjoy, we're not having conversations. And that's not a good relationship. We want relationships that are empowering. We want relationships that are joyful. You know, as you said, you don't want to be in a relationship where you're not enjoying the person. You may have moments where this doesn't feel good, but then, you talk about it, you discuss it, and you come back to where it's a joyful experience, again. So here's my next question, right? Um, all right. Um, how do you guide couples to transform those insights into daily habits that foster healing?
Yes. So this takes time and work and coaching.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the big ones, I would say, like the number one thing that I could probably say and speak on is shifting the communication from reactive to like aware, like a more aware response,
Okay, now
right?
stop there. I just hope pin that because we're going to
Okay.
take a break because we're about to go deep into this piece and I want to make sure that you get all of it. So we'll be right back in about 1 minute.
Rethinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
Mystery School Ancient Wisdom for Everyday Life is your practical and inspiring gateway to spiritual awakening. Join me, Shakti Durga, and Dr. Pat every first and third Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time as we explore relationships, inner plane realities, channel light beings, learn from ancient wisdom, and share tools to navigate life with ease and grace. Are you ready to step into your highest potential? Subscribe to Mystery School. Your transformation starts here.
Festa della Donna with Esther Graham honors all women far beyond a single day of celebration. Regardless of your race, gender, sexual orientation, or religion, Esther helps you rise to your full potential to live fully in God's plan and to do what you were divinely created to do. Festa della Donna offers programs that help you fulfill your dreams and desires. For more information and to get your free copy of the Festa della Donna Retreat Self-Care Guide, visit fdbwomen.com.
Inside the Mind of Hiring with me, Dr. Mickey Feinberg, is a must-listen for hiring managers, HR pros, and job seekers. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio, the first and third Tuesday at 11 to discover the psychology of making smarter hiring decisions that shape successful teams and organizations. Dr. Mickey and expert guests will disclose the full hiring journey. For more info, visit deltaconsultants.com.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The power of inspiration and awakening radio with Julia will take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were and how to awaken that power today. Julia studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Learn to master the secrets of manifestation. Visit onetrueself.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's start again with our question. And here's the question, Charcee. How do you guide couples to transform those insights into daily habits that foster healing?
Yeah, so I was saying, really the shift comes in how we respond to things, right?
Yeah,
How we communicate. And I really think that like the hardest parts of relationships are communication and challenge.
yeah.
And because of that, there's like a lot of reactionary responding
For sure.
rather than like relational awareness. And, you know, a lot of times it's like who's right and who's wrong, or how do we fix this, or and so it becomes more of a battle because you're trying to figure out who's right and or you're trying to prove that you're right, or you're trying to prove that they're wrong, or you're trying to fix something right now without the time it may need to process for both of you, or process for one of you. Maybe one of you processes really quickly and one of you processes more slowly, or maybe one of you processes through conversation while the other one processes through sitting alone. And so you have to consider the other human in the relationship, right? And create small daily habits. So a lot of times, because the challenge comes in the change, right? So when people shift and they become someone new and they're not who they used to be, there's these internal changes that happen. And we don't name those things out loud before they become, the wedge or the distance between
The
us.
elephant in the room.
Right. Absolutely. And so, being able to say like, hey, this thing happened and I feel different now, or this was my opinion, or this was how I felt, or, I was fine with you never doing the dishes, but now I feel like, it would be really helpful if you help contribute to keeping our house clean, right? I don't care that I didn't do the dishes for the last 20, that I didn't have you help with cleaning the house for the last 20 years, but this is where I am now, right? And this is why, and this is how I feel about it, and really just be open and, have no expectation that they're going to just agree offhand, right? Really, the communication that you're giving is so you're giving them insight and an invitation into meeting you where you are, right? And sharing without attached blame, right? You don't want to do it and say, because you made me wash the dishes for the last 20 years and you're the problem and you did this. It's really just, this is where I am. This is what I'd like. This is my invitation to you, right?
Suppose the
And
person doesn't agree that, I'm not going to do the dishes. Then,
right, then that's new information. And with that information, you then make a new decision, right? New information, new decision, new information, new decision. And, pausing, and instead of expecting an immediate response, you have to deliver the information as if it's just information.
right.
Whether or not they agree or disagree, that's not part of your formula. Your formula is to inform your partner of who you are today. That's your job. And whether they agree or disagree or push or don't, the request is always like, I'd love you to just be curious and not defensive about who I've become. That's the request. Whether or not they meet that request or they can show up to it, that's something you work out. And if you do something for 20 years and then you one day shift it, I always say to my clients, I say, you've been playing football for the last 20 years, and now you decided you want to play baseball and they're supposed to just jump on board, know the rules, know how to play, know exactly what to do. You're playing a new game and you're the one who changed the game. So if you change the game, you need patience that your teammates can catch up. They have to learn the game, right? And I'm going to tell you something right now. I could watch football all day long. I don't know what half the calls mean, but I've been watching it for 20 years. So it takes people time, right? And if you're the one changing and you're the one shifting what's happening in the relationship, give your partner grace to catch up to you. It's healing isn't built on grand gestures or immediate agreement. It's in these micro moments of honesty and repair and integrity and honesty and
Patience.
tons of patience and grace. It's grace, right? And consideration. So when couples learn to communicate what's happening internally, which is the same thing I said to the last question, I guess it all really does tie together. What's happening inside in real time, you have to put trust into that that communication about yourself will build into something naturally that you and your partner can now like find a new bond inside of, you know? So the habit isn't like the small habit, I guess, in this case, isn't to talk more. It's not to just, well, this is how I feel, and this, it's just to tell your internal truth a little sooner with a lot of care, you know?
Yeah.
And it eventually becomes a natural behavior, and it doesn't have to be something you think about, but then your communication is like, hey, this is what's going on with me really today.
Yeah.
When your partner asks you, how are you? Your answer just isn't good or I'm fine. You know, it's, hey, I've been thinking about, you know, you shifting my career. It's been on my mind a lot for the last few months. You know, what do you think about that? Or, hey, my doctor talked to me about this new medication I could possibly go on. You know, can we research it together? Like we do constantly have thoughts going through our head. And when our
Yeah.
partner asks us, how are we? And we say we're good, we're not giving them any insight to what's actually going on with us. And that creates a wall that really does create some distance. And it seems like a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit. And before you know it, you have a 10-foot wall between you, and you don't know how to chip back at it to get to the other side.
Yeah.
And you're the one who built it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
So
and
small
sometimes you
habits.
don't, yeah. And sometimes you don't realize that you're the one who built it. And I think that when we're talking about shifts like that, I think, speaking from experience, not just personal experience, but experience in coaching and speaking with couples, is that we have to, it's just like what you said. I'm the one that changed the game. So now I have to be patient that you're going to understand the game, or I need to be patient with myself to teach you the game, let's say, right? I have to teach you and then give you an opportunity to embrace it, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and not expect that, that it's going to just happen immediately.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. It's kind of like when couples even first get married. You get married because you're all googly eye, you're all in love, and then after the honeymoon is over, life happens.
Mm-hmm.
And now y'all are living in the same house, and you both come from two different families, two different environments, two different cultures, whether it's culturally from countries or family culture or whatever. Now you come together, or something happens in your marriage. If you've been married for a while, something happens and the marriage begins to shift,
Mm-hmm.
you know and if you're not careful, as you said, the walls will build up, and many times we don't see ourselves. This is
Right.
where personal development comes in, by the way,
Right.
where you
100%.
yeah, where you can begin, I had to begin to see myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I began to see myself in this relationship, then growth happened and change happened, right? But sometimes you have to, well, not sometimes, all the time, you have to give that other person, your partner, whatever, that opportunity as well. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and to think, well, I went through personal development, he didn't. I'm the one that shifted and changed, he didn't, or she didn't.
Right. 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 Right.
So then the question is, how do I even begin to give them the grace to shift as well?
Right. So, I mean, that's always a really good question. People have to want to grow. It's
Yeah.
is always what I say, the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him
Can't make
drink,
them
right?
drink.
People have to want to grow. You can't say like, you're going to this personal development retreat. You have to, right? Um, but inside of your growth, the sharing of it, like the reason why I think that the sharing of your own internal growth is really important
Yeah.
is because identity shifts are inevitable. Like, even if your partner doesn't explore personal development, they are going to shift. Their identity is going to shift no matter what, right?
100%.
Because they're going to live. And this life is this really fun experiment of seeing what happens when and how do we handle that, right? Like, that is what life is. Um, So, but we assume that when we grow, right, that it's going to pull us apart. So
Yeah.
we don't express those growths, right? We
Mhm.
hide them, or we just don't talk about them, or we don't stay communicative. And what happens is instead of sharing them, those hiding of the hiding of them actually is what pulls you apart.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, if I tell them I changed, they're not going to love me. It's like you're changing and you're not explaining and you're not talking about it. You feel like a different person, and you're not saying anything. That is the pull apart,
Yeah.
right? Because communication is evolution. It really is in a relationship. And if you communicate, your relationship will evolve inside of that communication because you're reintroducing yourselves over and over and over again. Here's who I am today. 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 Right. And inside of that, you get to relearn each other. And that ties like your bond together as you move forward. You can either grow your own and they grow on their own, or you grow together. And maybe it's a little here and it's a little there and you right. But if you talk about it, then your growth might teach your partner something. And then they go, wow, that's actually a really great insight. Let
Yeah.
me see how to apply that in my own life. Let
Yeah.
me see what that looks like on me. Right. And they can never do that if we don't share, or they don't share with us where they're going and what's happening internally. And if this is the person you choose, like till death do us part, like this should be your best friend, this should be your confidant, this should be the person you can do this with. And not to say your partner is supposed to be everything for you, because I highly disagree with that,
Yeah.
right?
I
But
do
I
too.
do believe that you want to be able to share your intimate like moments and intimate shifts that are happening internally with the person who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, because they got to be with you the rest of your life if that's who you're choosing, right?
Yeah.
So
Like Jonathan and I, 38 years, right? Or almost.
absolutely,
That's,
absolutely.
I mean, that's, I've been with him for more than half of my life, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so,
Whew, can't
yeah.
imagine.
Oof. And so every day, and in a marriage, as you say, it's life. So you keep living and things happen. And we've both grown and did this and did all of these different things. And every day, every morning, I have to wake up and say, I still choose you to do life with.
Absolutely.
Look, I
Absolutely.
like to say the good, the bad, and the ugly because then we work on it together. And then,
Hmm.
but this is it. Both couples have to be willing and committed to do the work,
Right.
to do the
Yeah.
work individually and to do the work together.
Yes. And the same brain that created the problem can't always find the solution,
That's right. That's right.
And so sometimes you know, it does require outside help or therapy or
Come
personal
on.
development or,
Yeah.
coaching or whatever, but it's worth the work, right? It's worth the work.
Worth
Both
it.
people have to be doing the work if your partner's worth it for you, right? If this
Mhm.
partnership is worth it, if this relationship is worth it, you do the work.
You do the
It's
work
not
for it.
easy. It's
Yeah.
it's like staring a mirror in the face and saying, there is something wrong with you, right? There is something, not wrong, but there
Yeah.
are things you can change. There are things you can shift.
Always.
There
Always.
is more to learn and more to apply and more work to be done. And some days you're tired. You don't want to stand in front of that mirror,
Yeah. And
But
and you're not always right. You know what I mean?
right.
And all of the and all,
Yes.
all,
Yes.
and it doesn't always have to be your way. And
Right.
and so those are the things, again, willing to do the work and willing to see yourself in this relationship and your area. There's a wonderful saying that I love, see yourself, basically see what's wrong with you before you see what's wrong with someone else. In other words, remove the cloak out of your eyes before you
Hmm.
can remove it out of someone else's eyes, right?
Hmm.
See yourself.
Yeah, one of my coaches that I really respect and appreciate for the impact on my life always reminds me that like what bothers you about someone else is generally something you're not willing to look at internally.
Yeah, yeah. And
So it's a mirror,
it's a mirror. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
triggers come because it exists internally. And so I'm really big about that, about like going inside and seeing like there's something I don't like about that person. Do I show up like that? Is there a part of me that I'm, maybe avoiding or neglecting even looking at because I
Yeah.
don't want to be that so bad? But
Yeah.
there is a part of me that exists like that, or just little different little thing, even when it comes to small things like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
who pays at dinner. If I feel anything come up about someone who like didn't offer to pay or didn't, I always offer to pay, like it's just part of who I am. But it's also like if I feel like someone else isn't, then I'm like, was there some part of me that didn't want to pay for this meal, or was there some, like I can feel the little things come up, and I question it all. I question it all because it's important for us to know ourselves in even in the smallest little areas, because if we
And can I
deny
say it?
learning,
It's scripture, that word, take the cloak out of your eyes before you could take it. Look at yourself first. Look, because what you're seeing in that person, that it could be something that's in you as well. Like
right,
that's
right.
exactly, that's exactly. We're going on a break and we'll be right back.
You're thinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
Mystery School Ancient Wisdom for Everyday Life is your practical and inspiring gateway to spiritual awakening. Join me, Shakti Durga, and Dr. Pat every first and third Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time as we explore relationships, inner plane realities, channel light beings, learn from ancient wisdom, and share tools to navigate life with ease and grace. Are you ready to step into your highest potential? Subscribe to Mystery School. Your transformation starts here.
Festa della Donna with Esther Graham honors all women far beyond a single day of celebration. Regardless of your race, gender, sexual orientation, or religion, Esther helps you rise to your full potential to live fully in God's plan and to do what you were divinely created to do. Festa della Donna offers programs that help you fulfill your dreams and desires. For more information and to get your free copy of the Festa della Donna Retreat Self-Care Guide, visit fdbwomen.com.
Inside the Mind of Hiring with me, Dr. Mickey Feinberg, is a must-listen for hiring managers, HR pros, and job seekers. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio, the first and third Tuesday at 11, to discover the psychology of making smarter hiring decisions that shape successful teams and organizations. Dr. Mickey and expert guests will disclose the full hiring journey. For more info, visit deltaconsultants.com.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The power of inspiration and awakening radio with Julia will take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were and how to awaken that power today. Julia studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Learn to master the secrets of manifestation. Visit onetrueself.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So let's continue of our conversation, relationship do's and don'ts and do's and do's and don'ts, right? And so, Charcee, so one last question for you. So for couples, right, who are ready to do this work, because we were on the break, y'all, we were talking about how hard this work is. Like the couples both have to be ready to do the work, right? Just like you got to be ready to do the work. And I'm a component of, I love personal development because I think personal development leads into spiritual development, leads into business development, everything else. It's like the foundation, in my opinion, it's like the foundation for it. And so, for couples who are ready to do this work together, why do you believe a dedicated space like our retreat can shift their trajectory in a way that everyday life cannot?
Mm, that's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, your retreat is a marriage retreat, so I think it really highly focuses on like
Yeah.
the beautiful commitment of that marriage is, right? And I think that in everyday life, we go into survival mode,
Hmm.
right? At home, we're navigating schedules, responsibilities, our patterns, our children, our work, our who, did we wash the white clothes last night? Because I need my shirt in the morning. Like there's just so much distraction. When you step into a retreat space, it creates something rare,
Yeah.
which is the spaciousness that you need
Yeah.
to slow down, to be witnessed, to hear each other without interruption or urgency, to move on to something else. You really get to be in a space together where you get to just be present with each other. And that is rare in our everyday survival mode life, right? When couples step out of that normal environment, and if you think of the body, the nervous system has the opportunity to soften, right? We're not ready for reaction. We like slow down. We can actually like breathe again.
Hmm.
And so our deeper truths can come up. And that's when transformation is possible. And so I'm not saying you can't heal at home. I'm saying when you do it in a space that is made for the healing,
Mm.
it's resetting the relational foundation so you can return with new patterns
Yeah.
into the life that you were not trying to escape, but you were trying to navigate, with a different lens on, and with, you know, great intentions, but also great tools to actually make those intentions applicable to the life that you're living.
Yeah.
It accelerates,
It does.
what, may take years of we've already talked about this, we've already done this, we've been here before, and I asked you to stop doing that a year ago, or whatever the thing might be, you're going to circle in those conversations in those same patterns because of what I said before, is that the same mind that creates it can't always creates the challenge, can't always create the solution. And sometimes it takes another party or a witness, right, a witness to the circumstance to say like, hey, you're making a really good point, but did you ever think about this?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, has this ever come into play? And it really does pattern interrupt. And that the ability for your nervous system to chill out is such a benefit. I mean, we don't do it enough, right? Honestly operate at a very low level of anxiety all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and if you're a
100%.
parent, you're always worried about your children, and then you're maybe your wife travels for work, then you have a low level of like, is she okay? Did she make it? Did she not make it? So we have this anxiety. Our nervous system is always fighting to, make sure everything's okay. And so when you come into spaces where your nervous system can actually rest, and I know, at your marriage retreat specifically, there's breath work, there's massage, there's things that really bring the body in as well, which I feel like a lot of retreats don't integrate,
Yeah.
where the body keeps score. You guys know the book, The Body Keeps Score, and it is a real thing. Like, we really hold on to our trauma, we really hold
Yeah.
on to our patterns. And so when we bring the body in, as well as the transformation, as well as the hard conversations, there is an accelerated shift that happens that, we don't just get at home in our regular day, in our
Exactly.
normal everyday life. So,
We're stepping in.
yes.
We're stepping in. We're creating an environment to where we're stepping into healing. We're stepping into transformation. You know what I mean? And it's done, as you said, at an accelerated level. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And
Absolutely.
because then you're just spending what, 5 days or a week just focusing on you and your spouse, you and
Yes.
your partner. That's the focus. And I love retreats because that's what I had to do. I did it individually first, then we've done it together. Does that make sense? Because it
Hmm.
was something did it accelerate? 100%. Did it make a change in me? It made a change in me personally, yes. And then when
Right.
it made a change in me as an individual, then it helped change my relationship with not just, by the way, my spouse, my husband, but my children and my friends and my employees, all of that. Change
Hmm.
everything. It changed my spiritual life, changed everything for me. I can't say that's why I love doing it because not only do I host it, but I also attend retreats when
Absolutely.
I need it. I attend
Absolutely.
it. I'm a believer, I pour into me because I'm my best asset.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. And retreats create the container to do just that.
Yeah,
It quiets the noise enough for you to hear yourself again, for you to hear your partner again.
exactly,
And
exactly.
it's not like your problems to fix, but like to evolve as people side by side and really invite each other into the direction you both want to move into. And sometimes you aren't even moving in the same direction because you haven't slowed down enough to really say, hey, are we going this way?
Yeah, yeah. That
So yeah,
shared vision you have for your marriage. Yeah. Listen, Charcee, this has been a powerful conversation. Um, Guys, it's almost that time we have to say goodbye, but I want to thank Charcee for coming on. I also want to give the plug. Listen, your marriage, your relationship is worth it. So if you're interested in finding out more information about our marriage retreats, then, we'll give you that information. You go to our website and you'll get that information about the marriage retreat. I will be there. My husband will be there. Charcee's a co-facilitator at the retreat. And so we're super excited. The environment has been set and created for growth, for healing, for transformation. Holistic, by the way, right? Holistic, not just in one area. We're speaking about holistic transformation here. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Go to my YouTube channel, right? Living a Life by Design, and check us out all the way. Join me in the Life by Design community. Take care. God bless. Thank you, Charcee.
thank you so
Take
much
care,
for
guys.
having me, Esther.
Yep. Take care. God bless everyone. Stay warm or stay hot, wherever you are.
Stay hot.
You have been listening to Living a Life by Design, the journey back to you, and living 365 days of purpose with host Esther Graham. Listen or watch live every second and fourth Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Discover that what is possible is already in you. God designed a phenomenal life for you. Esther helps you ignite that energy behind your personal journey for a deeper joy and peace, living 365 days of purpose. For more information on living a life by design, visit fddwomen.com.